Well, howdy there, Internet people, it's Belle again. So today, we're going to talk about DC, red lights, the National Guard, and red flags. On Wednesday in DC, a National Guard MATV, or Mine Resistant Ambush Protected All-Terrain Vehicle, it's an MRAP to most, reportedly ran a red light and slammed into an SUV. The thing weighs about 14 tons. So, of course, the driver of the SUV had to be pulled out of the vehicle by firefighters and was sent to the hospital. The driver appears to be okay with only minor injuries. If you've ever been to DC and been in one of these things, you know what happened. Small streets, less than ideal visibility, giant vehicle, unfamiliar streets. This is unlikely to be the only accident, and that should be a red flag for the administration. What happens next time? The military is not a peacekeeping force. It's a warfighting force. It gets forced into other roles during extreme situations, when there are disasters or riots. But you know what's different about those situations? You don't have a lot of normal traffic. They normally aren't patrolling streets that are trying to conduct business as usual. What happens when it's a kid on a bike? The fact that the military isn't designed for peacekeeping in civilian populations is evident from pretty much every war the U.S. has fought in the last couple of decades. Name an actual military the U.S. has encountered that it hasn't destroyed almost immediately. We don't lose wars. We lose the peace that comes after we destroy the other military. This is so prominent that many have suggested an entirely separate force be developed outside of the Department of Defense to handle that aspect, because it's different skills. What happens when that force that isn't good at handling peacekeeping gets turned on its own peaceful citizens? The new reporting says they're now going to be armed. When you put a bunch of people with firearms together, bad incidents occur. For crying out loud, there have been 2 service members charged with involuntary man in separate incidents with weapons being discharged in the last month alone. What happens when the next accident isn't a red light getting run? From what's been released, neither of those incidents were in high-stress situations, dealing with a populace unhappy about your presence after being taken away from home and deployed on a mission you know is a PR stunt. The military isn't designed for this. There's a debate here over which is more likely to happen first, a lost weapon that ends up on the streets of DC or a bad incident. Soldiers are not props. They aren't for PR. When it comes to the military, G.I. Joe is right. Knowing is half the battle. You know what the other half is? Violence. That's the job of the military. The longer this goes on, the higher the likelihood of something bad happening. Anyway, it's just a thought. Y'all have a good day.